Welcome back to the Adulthood podcast. This is volume 42, airing on January 29th. It's crazy. We're already a month in to 2024. Thank you guys for always tuning in and locking in with us every Monday, or really whenever you hear it. We appreciate it. If you want to come see me live, I'm in New York actually this weekend, February 2nd and the 3rd. I'm in New York doing shows at Gotham Comedy Club and at the Stand Comedy Club. So check out my Instagram page for that. Some dates in February for the 15th to the 18th. I'm in Plano, Texas at the House of Comedy. And the 22nd to the 25th, I'm in Hotlanta at the Atlanta Comedy Theater, IanLaraLive.com. Get your tickets. Don't forget to follow the page at Adulthood Pod. Follow Ian Lara Live. I am DJ APM. Thank y'all for listening. We got another good episode for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Peace. Welcome back to the Adulthood podcast, baby.
Hey.
Volume 42. This is coming out on January 29th.
Is this thing on?
We are officially a month into the year.
Wow.
Most of your resolutions have failed.
Dissipated.
And that's fine. No one expected you to complete them anyway.
Literally
Marty, have you been drinking more coffee? I know people were hitting me up about that.
That was a big one.
She has to fix her mic. She wasn't prepared.
Sorry. Yeah, I have actually.
You've been drinking and eating more cake.
Yeah.
Two things.
How's your
See, that's the
coffee
thing.
journey
You gotta set your resolutions low. Like when you set them low, like eat more cake and drink more coffee, you can easily achieve them.
You got to accomplish them.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Marty, are you a Starbucks connoisseur? Where do you get your coffee from? You just make it?
Oh, no, I get it from this really cute bakery in Bed-Stuy called
Oh, okay.
And you should go there, but you also shouldn't because we're gatekeeping it.
Bleep out their name unless they want to
Take-
send us free donuts or something.
Take that name out.
We're
Take
not
that
giving
name out. No free promo.
No props.
No free promo.
Shout out to everyone for liking our posts, liking the stuff on social media, liking the page. A lot of people liked our last episode.
Are we controversial?
Nah, I don't listen to those things. Those people that don't even listen to or watch the podcast, they comment their opinion. I actually like it because it's good engagement, and you need the engagement to go viral. So
thanks, guys.
The more, the more people argue on a post, that's
better for us.
That's good.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were saying that was their favorite volume.
Ooh,
the volume about failure. Yeah. We have a lot of failures that listen to this podcast. That's why.
But wasn't it failing up?
They're trying to climb. That's why they listen to us. They're trying to climb out the rut that is their lives, which is fine. That's why we do this, is to give back.
The number one health and wellness
podcast in the
hood.
Yeah. I was in Austin, Texas this weekend. Shout out to Dee and Marty who came out to see me in Austin. They said to say hello to you.
What's up, Dee? What's up, Marty?
They're adulterers. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the adulterers that came out.
Big shout out.
You know we like to give our shout outs early on.
Yeah.
What do you get into?
This weekend I actually almost had a traumatic event happen.
Oh, nice. Love a traumatic event.
My lady and I, we did a brunch, indoor brunch. We did some brunching.
Let me guess. Y'all fought.
No, actually we didn't. So in the midst of enjoying the meal, we did pancakes because you got to do pancakes with brunch. Long story
I'm more
short,
of a chicken and waffle guy.
You're a waffle. I went with the waffles.
Yeah, chicken and waffle. I used to like pancakes. I don't know what happened. One day I just got older and I was like, I'm a waffle guy now.
Wow.
I like French toast. What is your take on that?
I'm definitely a pancake guy. I'm all of them. I'm the whole trifecta. Pancakes. That might be the name of a good place. Pancakes, waffles, and French
that's
toast.
not bad. You can't steal it. We own it.
Yeah, take that one out too, Johan. But long story short, in the middle of indulging, my lady, she's just like, hold on, there's something in my pancake. I'm like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, all right, I'm expecting it to be like a hair or a nail, something that's egregious, but it's like, you understand. Like,
see, you're good. Like you're like a lot reasonable. Like, cause I go extreme. You say what's in my pancake, I'm like semen or shit.
Or how about Coke?
Yeah, I don't have my brain just goes to like the worst.
But how about Coke?
Cocaine?
Cocaine. There was cocaine in the pancake.
How did she know that wasn't like flour or like what's that sweet flour?
Powdered
sugar.
Yeah.
Because of course, me being the adventurous one in the duo, I'm like, hold on. This ain't confection sugar. This ain't powdered sugar. This ain't mixed. This ain't batter. The place that we order from, they pride themselves on like, what is it? Artisanal pancakes. So it wasn't like the normal stuff. And it wasn't flour because it was rocked up. I'm like, that's cocaine, baby.
She had hold on. What is this restaurant? What is this?
Due to the pending lawsuit, I'm not going to put it out there. But
this angel restaurant owner that's putting cocaine in
the pancakes.
In the pancakes. Yep. I've never heard anything like this.
Neither have I.
So what did you do?
I put it in a container and then I'm going to have it tested to make sure that it's cocaine, number one, and number two, so we could take the adulthood pod on the road.
Is that even a lawsuit? What do you sue for?
I don't know.
For being fun?
I don't know. But
you're gonna sue the brunch spot for being a fun place?
Like, but whoever was in the kitchen, like, what were you doing?
Oh no, I hear cooks are drug addicts. I hear.
Yeah, but you don't put the cocaine next to the pancake batter.
Well, I'm sure it was a mistake. No one wants to give away free cocaine.
No, not in 2024.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but in Anthony Bourdain, he had a book where he talks about Kitchen Confidential, I think that's what it's called, where he talks about a lot of like chefs and sous chefs and all of them. They do a lot of drugs.
A lot.
That's why your food is so good. They're high.
It correlates.
Yeah. That's a crazy, man. That's a crazy brunch. Let me know the name of the place.
Yeah, offline.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I was in
Austin?
Yeah, I was in Austin.
Marty?
I had a meltdown this weekend. You ever had a meltdown? When was the last time you had a meltdown?
Probably this morning.
Yeah, I had a big meltdown. I don't know why.
What happened?
Well, I don't know. Everything just lined up. I don't know if it was last week's episode. We was talking about failing and being a failure, but I was on my way to Austin and I was on the flight and I just got this overwhelming sensation of failing, of like everything is going wrong. Like I was just spiraling. Like,
are you having like a quarter life crisis or something?
Nah, sometimes you just sometimes
too, right?
yeah, sometimes you just go there. First of all, I got to say this. I was on a flight. This might sound wrong, but everything on this podcast does.
Usually.
I don't think if you're on a flight, right? Let's say you're on a flight and you're with your girlfriend or you're with a friend. Let's say you're traveling with somebody. I don't think it's appropriate that if you're sitting in a 3-seater, like it's you, your friend, or your significant other, whoever, and somebody else, I don't think you should talk the whole flight.
There should be some silence.
Yeah, I think there should be silence.
Do we have a flight protocol episode?
We need to have, because it was my flight was at 7 a.m. When I tell you these people got on the flight and they were talking the entire time.
Like how long was the flight?
4 hours to Austin.
4 hours?
Entire time.
Did they have a flight podcast?
And one of the girl was wearing a face mask. So she was like talking through the face mask. So it was like loud. Like it was like loud talking the whole time. And I think there's this disease. I forgot the name of it. I diagnosed myself with it. But there's this disease where you can't hear sounds, where sounds really bother you. Like no matter what it is.
Like a highly sensitive person?
Old age?
Kind of, but it's just like any sound, like a clicking, like if somebody's snapping, if somebody's tapping their foot, if somebody's like playing with their zipper, like you hear these small sounds and they're they bother you.
From being from New York? Because I think I suffer from the same thing.
I cannot hear, like, I just need silence. Like I need pure silence. And don't get me wrong, you're traveling with a friend. I'm not going to say, shut up the whole time, but you shouldn't talk on a flight for 4 hours.
Not 4 hours.
So I think I was on the flight and I was like a little bit annoyed with them, right? I wasn't going to say nothing. It was two gentle ladies and one of them was African American and the other one was Asian of some kind. And they were, I guess they were talking about work or whatever, but they were just too enthusiastic. They were going back and forth.
At 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning, the whole flight they were talking. And I was trying to give them signs. I'm like, I'm doing like, because I got my headphones on, but they were talking like
you could hear them through the headphones?
Yeah, and I got noise canceling Beats headphones. Yeah, you could hear them through the headphone. They were talking. That happened to me on another flight last week where the people behind me, they were just talking. The people behind me were discussing Israel-Palestine.
Oh, on the plane?
Behind me, yes. It was a Jewish gentleman and another white guy they were just talking Israel. Like I could hear them. Like
CNN?
they didn't know each other. Like they just met on the flight, and he was like, "Oh, so what's your take on what's going on in Gaza?" And I'm like, "What's going on in Gaza?" Like
that's a really aggressive.
We're flying back from Texas, bro. Like
that's an aggressive in-flight conversation.
Right, yeah. And they talked the whole time, but I guess they figured it out. They came to a conclusion because when we landed, I looked back because I had to put a face on these two guys, and they were like exchanging information.
Did they solve it?
I think they solved the Middle East crisis.
Oh, wow.
I think, or problem or whatever.
You didn't get their card or anything like that?
Nah, man, I can't do the talking on a flight. Like,
you're not a plane networker.
When I always fly by myself too, so when I'm on a flight, I need complete silence. So I guess if you sit in first class, that's not a problem because there's only 2 seats. So the chances of the person next to you, well, they'll talk to you, but you could just cut that off. But even in first class, I've been in first class and there's babies in first class, which you know how I feel about babies. I don't feel like
it's
they should.
Illegal.
Yeah, I don't feel like they should exist.
And definitely not in first class.
I think you should just start off at like 7 years old.
Can we clip this and then also let people know that it's a joke? You know, when we put this on the socials, because we'll say something and like it's actually pretty funny, but taken out of context. You know who I want to shout out? I want to shout out all the adulterers who police all of our posts and like go and comment and let them know that we're actually joking and that people should listen to the whole episode. But some
of it is actually funny because some of it is actually like they didn't watch the clip at all.
They didn't watch the clip.
Like they were just so quick to go into their like opinion and their thoughts, which we're gonna get into opinions later on. We're gonna get into opinions, but first I want to talk about the spiral. So I'm on the airplane and these girls are talking. My manager had hit me up already about the sales in Austin, Texas, how ticket sales were low in Austin, Texas, which I was like, all right, I don't know what you want me to do. Like I did everything. I promoted. I did Austin. I went on the radio in Austin to promote the show. I did everything. But I guess the weather was bad in Austin. They were like 30 degrees and they're normally not that cold. So I guess that was contributing to the low sales at the beginning. Shows turned out to be great. People came out. All the shows were good. But I guess I was going through like that where I'm like, what else can I do? Like I've done everything. Like I've got a special. I've been on the Tonight Show. I've done all the things, and it's like, what else could I do? So I started to go down that spiral where like I landed in Austin and I literally wanted to like fire everyone. Like I was like, I'm gonna fire everyone because I'm like, this is not my fault. I do everything. I work hard. I do everything I gotta do. I show up. Everyone is getting fired. And then I spoke to a friend of mine. He kind of talked me off the ledge. And then I was fine for the rest of the weekend. But it's crazy how we could sometimes go down these rabbit holes.
Who's this friend? Who did you talk to?
This is another comedian.
Okay.
Comedian.
And then did they give you some wisdom, some game? Like, is that something that all comedians go through?
I mean, I guess all people go through, right? Like, I don't think it's thing to a comedian. All people go through where, I don't know, your brain just takes you down a path where you're just like, where you gotta... you gotta keep perspective. You lose perspective. That's the problem.
Lose perspective.
For some reason, when things line up, you might lose perspective. Have this ever happened to you, Marty?
Yeah, I just found it really interesting that you went like your immediate was like, I was like, oh, he's gonna be like, I was crying in the airport and I was like on the phone to, like all of my sisters and they were like, you're gonna be okay, sweetie. And instead you were like,
I'm firing.
No,
I'm like, to 42?
I'm like Trump. That's how I react. You're fired. You're fired.
Have you not listened to any of these volumes?
No, I was ready to fire everyone. I was
damn.
It's part of, honestly,
that's
I guess,
very transparent, bro.
Yeah, it's part of like being an adulthood pod, baby. This is a pro tip. Sometimes you're gonna spiral. You gotta have people in your corner. It's like when you're a boxer and I know you love the sports references, but it's like when you're a boxer and you have a bad round and then you go back to your corner, you need to have people to talk you up. You need to have people that be like, listen, you just had a bad round, but you are who you are. You just need to get back on your game, go back to doing this, get back on your thing, and you go back out there, and then you go back out there and you're like, oh yeah, I just had a bad round. We're all allowed to have, in life, we're all allowed to have bad rounds.
You sound like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Did you practice this on the flight back from Austin?
Somebody told me I'm kind of like a philosopher.
Wow.
Kind of
Yeah,
like
the way
Kind of like.
the way I
Yeah.
speak is like it's like philosophy. Like I philosophize people.
It's I've been here for 42 volumes. I can agree. I
No,
concur.
thank you,
I
man.
concur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So pro tip, life is like a boxing match. You're probably gonna get knocked out.
Pro tip.
That's it. That's all I want people to.
Pro tip.
That's all I want people to know.
Not getting back up.
Yeah.
Nah,
You're probably gonna get knocked out and lose.
Yeah, all right. That's what's up.
That's it.
Your breakdowns are very, very entertaining.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys.
They're drastically different.
That's all I got. I don't know. This. I think what people like about this podcast is that we're grounded in reality.
That's what it is.
Some of these self-help podcasts, you turn them on and they're like, everything's going to be all right. We don't do that.
No.
Because that's not the truth.
No, things are not going to be all right.
They're not. Things are fucked
Things
right
are not
now.
going to be all right. They're going to be bad. They're going to be bad.
Yeah. And it's about how you handle them.
Yeah.
So then, like, after that comedian gave you some perspective, like, what did you take away from it?
Well, because the comedian was like, dude, you got to have perspective. Like you're in this business, you're extremely successful. Like you're doing all the right things, and it's just a matter of time before like bigger things start happening. But all the thing, like the road, like you're on the path, you're doing all the things. Like it's not, the road to it, there's checkpoints, right? To success. And it doesn't come overnight. I know to the public it seems, but there's checkpoints. And he's like, you're crossing off all the checkpoints.
Can we make that the title? That's great. Checkpoints to Success. Is that going to be the name of your book?
Checkpoints
to Success.
Yeah, that's what
he's
he was
cooking.
That's what he was telling me. And also give me perspective that there's, people that would love to be in the position that I'm in.
Yeah.
And sometimes obviously things exist in both ways, right? There's people behind you that want to be in your position, but there's people in front of you that you want to be in their position.
Yep.
And I was too busy focusing on people in front of me instead of worrying about me and being grateful for the position that I was in. So I allowed myself to unravel. But then I went and I did the shows. I did 2 shows on Friday and they were great. And then people came up to me and they were like, I was in Austin and people were like, we drove from San Antonio.
Oh, word?
We drove from Dallas. We drove from 3 hours away to come see you. And then I was like, oh yeah, I was bugging to think like I am very lucky that I have people that want to see me and drive. I don't drive to see people.
No, and not even people in the same borough.
And they're coming to see me. So I had to have perspective. But I'm usually like a pretty sage and grounded person. But I don't know. I just allowed myself to go down that rabbit hole.
My question for you is, number one, I love sage. Can we get some more for the studio? Oh, okay. Oh, the sage and citrus. That's number one. And then number two, it's like, do you think a part of that is because of social media or, because like comparing yourself?
It's all social media, man. It's all social media. First of all, this is another thing I was kind of going down a rabbit hole by. And I honestly mean this with like all due respect. Like I mean this respectfully. The fact that, and this is what this episode is going to be about, the fact that people think that their opinion is like the opinion is insane. And I'm saying this as a person of like, of course, I'm a human being. I have my own opinions. I think things suck. I think things are great. I have the same as anybody else. Spectrum. But what I don't have is the audacity to try to comment on somebody's page or hit them up telling them that their whatever they do sucks. Like, who do people think they are?
Who you think you are, son?
That their opinion is valid. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the notion of like, my opinion is right. I need to comment.
And I'm gonna post it.
I don't get it. Like people like any art you do, right? You look at any artist, look at the most famous artists. You look at Kevin Hart, you look at Drake, you look at J. Cole. Anything they post, if you read the comments, there's people in the comments telling them they suck.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But my thing is like, forget Kevin Hart or somebody who's that big, because that's preposterous to even to fathom that is like you're mentally like you have a mental issue if you think that your opinion is correct over like. I mean, they sell 1 million tickets per tour.
Millions of other people.
So not only not only the fans, but if you look at every checkpoint, right? Like the fans, like Hollywood, like everything, like in music, the art, the Spotify, Apple, they're number one on everything. And you think that your opinion they suck is the opinion.
Checkpoints to success coming soon. Don't steal that.
That is insane.
It's absurd.
I wanna, you know what I would like? I wanna get, because I'm sure you don't do it. I don't think anybody in this room has ever like posted a negative comment on somebody they didn't know's page. Maybe you do it to a friend to troll them or something.
Definitely.
But like to a stranger, to like somebody doing their art. Have you done that?
No, because you were going to say the audacity, right? But not only the audacity, I don't have the time. Like, how do you have the time to sit there and get your thumbs working to say something? Like, and honestly, I don't even care. I got so many different things going on that like if something is trash or whatever, it's like, all right, whatever. Like, or like I'm at the point where it's either indifferent or I'm just focusing on what I want to focus on.
Right. And I know I'm an artist. This is what we sign up for, right? You sign up as an artist, you open yourself up to be, chastised, critiqued, all those things by the masses. I get it. So I accept it. But it's still like interesting to talk about, like the mentality of somebody who comments on people's pages telling them they suck. Because it's like, obviously things aren't going good for you in your life, right? No, it's like hurt people kind of thing.
And to post something like that behind a faceless page also too, that just lets you know
that's insane, bro.
Not only do you have a wild imagination or you live in a different world, but you also have no courage, because it's one thing to tell somebody that they suck, but it's another thing to hide behind a veil, because then now you have no courage and you're, for lack of a better term, kind of a loser.
For sure. I mean, I was, when I was flying back on Sunday, I always take the early flight back. So I was headed to the airport at like 4:30 in the morning.
From Austin?
Yeah, leaving Texas. I always leave like super, super early because I try to be back early.
Yeah, so the day.
Yeah. So I was coming back, and then as I'm on like 1 hour sleep. Like Saturday show ended late, so I by the time I got back to the hotel, I slept like 1 hour, and then I'm like a zombie on the way to the airport. And I opened up my Instagram. I'm reading comments from like one of the like clips that we posted or whatever. You try to engage in comments. Engagement is good. So even, it's a crazy world, because even the negative comments help, right? They boost you up. Because it'll get shown to more people, and then you're more likely to find somebody that does like you, and the people that don't like you, they're like irrelevant. Like you just erase them from whatever. So I was reading comments, I was engaging in some of them, and I see some comments of like, they were taking one of the clips like way too literal. I laugh. I'm like, whatever. You don't get it. But they were taking it way too literal, and I was like, hey, like we're like a comedy podcast. Like if you listen to us, you understand that we're a comedy podcast, and sometimes we say things to make fun of those podcasts that take themselves seriously.
Super serious.
Like that's why we say some of the things that we say. 99% of the things we say we mean though, but. There's 1% of the time where we're making fun of those things. So one lady's like, oh, it was the podcast about a woman going through your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And first of all, to clear that up, I was just saying that
the group chat.
I was saying that people was talking about cheating. I was like, who said anything about cheating?
We didn't say that. They took it.
Yeah, people just took it like, oh, I guess you've been cheated on, because we didn't say anything about cheating. We was saying that guys as well as girls have conversations with their friends that it's not for their partner to see. That's not a crazy thing
That's not a crazy thing to say, but I think also too that I feel like more women need more like men friends, like male platonic friends, because a male friend group, all we do is basically talk shit. Like the more you can talk shit to your friends, that's basically the closer the relationship is, Well,
women, they're not like based on reality. They're just like, sorry, Marty. I know what that look means.
That's the HR look.
Yeah, I know what that look means. I've grown to learn it. But what first of all, people were talking, some lady comment, she was like, well, you shouldn't say anything to your boys that you wouldn't say to your girl. And it's like, what?
What are you talking about?
What world is this that you exist in, that you couldn't say nothing to your girl? What if you're having trouble with your girl and you're talking to me about it and we're going back and forth like on advice? Your girl's supposed to see that?
No, that's number one. And number two, if we're gonna pull the cat out the bag, how many dicks is in the girls group chat? Like, women are disgusting, Marty, too.
I don't think we have the same women.
Right? So it's just like, it's so interesting, the double standard.
And
but
also,
this
yeah,
world is double
and I
standards.
wasn't even talking about cheating, because man, ain't no man talking about cheating in a group chat. Like, if a man is cheating, that's a one-on-one conversation.
That's it.
Ain't no man talking about cheating in an open group chat.
In an open forum.
The most that they'll get is like, they'll send like pictures of like Instagram photos.
And it's not, and that was the thing too. It's not, you're not gonna send pictures of your wife or
Right.
like your girlfriend to your friends. Or like, what planet do you live on?
Right. Women think that if just because a guy is married or in a relationship, if he sees a picture of a butt model on Instagram, that he doesn't want to send it to his boys. Sometimes he just wants to send it to his single friends so they could see it.
Or if we're being honest, it's also to be like, this is ridiculous. Like, her thigh to ass ratio, like, she needs to go back to the doctor. It's crazy.
Whatever the case may be, group chat.
Have you seen it? You never seen it?
No, yeah, whatever the case may be, group chat conversations are meant for the people in the group chat.
That's
They're
it.
not meant to be seen
To the public.
No. Right? Viewer discretion is advised in group chat, and people are taking it all out of context. So one girl, I just explained to her a couple words. Again, engagement. I'm like, I'll write, she'll write. Better for the algorithm. I'll write something, she'll write something, whatever. So I'm like, I'm like, listen, this is like, you're taking this way too serious. Like, I don't know if your husband cheated on you or he left you for the babysitter, whatever the case may be. This is we're saying this to be facetious, and we're implementing hyperbole.
Yo, is this the Scrabble episode? You just been throwing them out.
Big words.
Did you just read on the
Yeah,
plane?
I read,
My bad.
I read.
All right, do your thing. Hyperbole.
Yeah. So I was like, we're implementing hyperbole, right? And one girl comes out of her face. One lady just jumps out of her face.
Her face or thumbs?
She was like, "Well, ain't nothing funny about this." Blah 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 blah. That's what I read.
That's how it sounded.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I replied to her. I'm like, "Ma'am," and I mean it because she was a ma'am. I looked at her page. She was like older, so I didn't want to get too, disrespectful. So I was like, "Ma'am, respectfully, like, your opinion that this is not funny. I respect your opinion. But I want to remind you that this is only your opinion. We have listeners. I have over 200,000 followers. The podcast has followers. People tune into this every week. So the fact that you think your opinion is better than all of these people's opinion, I want to know, what's that about?
Where do you get this from?
Yeah. Where do you get off?
Yeah.
I like that saying.
When
white people made that saying, they did good.
Or my favorite one is the remix when Italian people, who do you think you are?
Yeah,
who do you think you are?
Why sometimes white people make good sayings.
Yeah.
They don't, I feel like they don't get credit for that. That's what this podcast is about, giving people their flowers. When white people said, "Where do you get off?"
Buddy.
That was good.
Pal.
That was good. Where do you get off?
Did she respond?
Get a load of, I think she blocked me, because a lot of times you respond and then you get blocked.
So does the block win? That means a win.
I kind of want to follow her. But
damn.
Yeah. I kind of wish she followed me.
Yeah, we got to
kind of wish I won her over.
We got to grow this thing.
No, but yeah, I want to bring, you know what I want to have on the podcast? I want to bring somebody who like comments on like IG posts negatively.
You want me to find trolls?
Yeah, I want trolls.
Yeah.
And I want to interview them. Like, why do you do this?
And then did we set up the hotline for people to call in?
No, we're gonna Marty just completely didn't do what we spoke about, and she said she was gonna do.
There'll be a hotline for this week. So write in questions.
We're gonna leave a hotline so you could leave us voicemails.
Yeah, and then also hit us on the IG, send us the questions. Right, we gotta get the engagement going. Get some brunch. No coke in the pancakes, but we'll do some brunch.
But I wanna talk to trolls. Like, I wanna know what they're, because the thing is, a lot of time trolls think that and of course I'm not saying that I'm in any way like at the level of like the big celebrities. I'm not a celebrity at all, but I think that like they think that like when they
You're
tell
kind of like a Z-lister.
No, I was trying to be modest. I think that they think that like they write something to, like, say Drake, for example, and he doesn't hear it, he doesn't see it, but a lot of times he sees it.
Yeah.
Like he has a song about it where he's like, people like troll me and like I see it and it messes with me. Like, I'm a human being. I'm not just like,
you are human, and like, isn't the brain trained? You might have a bunch of positive messages.
It's overwhelmingly positive.
The one negative message is like, right?
Yeah,
that happens.
That's how it is. And it's like, also, especially when you're creating art, I think it's like you're just trying to be good. Like, you're not creating art. Artists are not trying to like hurt people.
Hurt
right?
people or like make people, yeah.
Even sometimes it does, right? Even like comedians, sometimes they're offensive, they do, but like they're not trying to do that. They just missed the mark.
But you know what? A funny thing is too, is like also how you receive the message, right? So I remember when we were actually doing Out of Tune, when we had first started, we had comments going, live comments, right? And I never used to pay attention to the comments, so I never used to read the comments. But like one time I was on, shout out to DJ Mary Mac. Mary Mac used to do the daytime show and I used to do the afternoon show. So I was, I think I was on, I had filled in for the daytime because Mary couldn't make it. So I'm on and I hadn't watched Mary's set before because it was still relatively new. So I'm on and I'm doing my thing and I'm thinking like it's, you know, traditional DJing. So
real quick, Out of Tune is a game show, a music game show that we used to host.
What was it, HQ, right?
Yeah, it was a host and a DJ, and he's referring to the other. There was two DJs, APM and DJ Mary Mac.
Shout out to Mary Mac.
To the other
but
DJ.
One of the comments was just like, "Who the hell is this guy? Like, where's Mary? Bring Mary back. This guy's boring as hell."
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was getting ready to get mad. Like, like, who the fuck do you think you are? But then it was just like, all right, like, let me not jump out the gym. So I watched Mary perform like on the show. I'm like, well, the guy's kind of right. She's doing all kind of tricks and she's like fucking, you know, making it an event and it's entertaining. And my dumb ass before seeing her, I'm like just there trying to like DJ. I'm like, you know, people are looking at the screen. You have to entertain. So that was one of those situations.
But
where,
also, I mean, I won't even give that a pass because for every person that liked her, there was a people that's like, where's APM?
That's very true.
So and everyone, I'm not telling you that you're wrong for your opinion. I have my opinion on things too, but I'm just saying, understand that your opinion, respectfully means nothing.
He had to catch himself.
It's completely invaluable.
Did we ISO?
Invaluable? That means not valuable, right?
Did you pick up the Scrabble dictionary? Because you're just throwing them out. Bro.
Yeah, I'm cooking today. I think it's because we're recording in the daytime. I work better when the sun is out.
Did you have a coffee or something? All right, I like it.
Yeah, so and I include myself in this.
In that.
But there's a difference. Some people get paid to give their opinion, though, right? Some people, that's their career, right? Like I talk for a living. People tune into this podcast to hear what we have to say. People come see me live to hear what I have to say.
And you're also entertaining. Right. We're entertaining.
Right. So my opinion has a certain value.
Has some weight.
Yeah, but I don't think it's better than your opinion.
No.
I still think it's the same. It's just I don't feel the need to have to, like, my opinion is not the opinion. Like if I think you suck, that don't mean you suck. That's just what I think, and I'm a nobody.
Except for like when it comes to DJs, I know when another DJ sucks.
I mean, even look, I won't say it.
I won't put it on. I won't thumb it.
I would say even in comedy, even when it comes to comedy, there's comedians who are not my type of comedians. They don't make me laugh. But there's people in there obviously enjoying them.
That paid money.
Right. So who am I to be like, oh, all those thousands of people you perform with, they're all wrong.
And that be the thing too that I think people don't like fully realize, especially in 2024, everything's expensive. Like eggs cost $35, it costs $100 if you just look at the door to go outside of New York City. So the fact that people pay money to come see you, to come see me DJ or like any type of entertainer, they gotta have something. Like those people ain't crazy to just spend their money on something. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I don't want to make it sound like I'm against troll. Like I understand trolling is like a part of thing, and trolling can be funny, honestly. But it's like if you're gonna be a troll, like be creative, like be good at it. Like say something funny or say something interesting. Like telling somebody they suck or like they're not funny, you're not good, like that's like lazy.
Do you think that it's because a lot of people really don't have good sense of humor, or like their sense of humor isn't as strong as they think there is? I think the problem is sense of humor, taste, everything is subjective. And people have these huge inflated egos where they think that their subjection is the thing. And it's like, people can't understand that your opinion is just your opinion. It means nothing. I keep saying that. It's completely worthless. As is mine, as is ours. It's just our opinion. There's no like, if we're not talking about fact, there's no fact. No. You know whose opinion matters? Marty's. What's up, Marty? You over there? She's tuned in. She's locked in. Did she have a coffee too? Is that coffee in there?
No, it's water.
Are you sure? That's why he's on fire. He's cooking. I feel like I'm in English Lit Volume 1. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
I want to bring it to like our first question is what you should do with your opinion, which I honestly think that like there's a space for you to like talk shit about people and hate like in private. Like I don't want that to stop.
Yeah.
You know, like
you gotta have safe spaces.
Yeah, I'm big on talking behind people's backs.
That's huge.
Yeah, like that. Like if there's no need, if you saw a movie you didn't like, there's no need for you to tweet at the actor that his movie sucked.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
But at the same time,
Marty agrees.
Yeah.
If something is forced upon you, right, do you not have the room to like comment on it? Because I personally feel like Taylor Swift and what's his name, Travis Kelce, they should sue the NFL for the unwarranted hate that they're receiving because of the fact that anytime he touches the ball, the camera automatically zooms up to her. You know what I'm saying?
You know, people, that's another, like people, I was seeing that too. Like people just hating on Taylor Swift. I'm like,
hating.
She's just at her boyfriend's game. Like why? Like she's not even, it's not like she's performing. It's not like she's on the field. It's not like she's telling the cameras like come at. She's just in a box enjoying her boyfriend play football.
Exactly.
And people hate it. They hate her.
So it's honestly, I think it's the producer who's in the studio who got the message from somebody in the NFL like, look, this is what we're gonna do.
Of course, she's a big ticket, but
the biggest.
But her being a big ticket does not like.
She needs a percentage.
It doesn't take away from the fact that she's also just a person. Like you think that doesn't get to her? Like you think she doesn't see that because she's a millionaire and she sells out stadiums? Sure, that's great. All that stuff is great. But you think she doesn't see that? Like, why am I getting hate? I'm just at my boyfriend's game, watching the game.
We'll never go out.
And everyone's like, people are like, oh, they're gonna stop watching the NFL. It's like because I'm at the game.
That's the other extreme.
You hate me so much. You hate my music so much. You're going to not watch the NFL playoffs not because they're going to play my music, because every once in a while they're going to
pan the camera
to a shot of me cheering for my boyfriend.
And dancing off beat.
Where are we as a society where just for you sitting at the game, people are going to boycott the league?
This is where we're at.
This is why people need to hear this podcast. Look, I'm all for... If you want to comment on posts, right, you could make a fair argument that if you want to comment positive things, that's good because positive things are better. You're bettering society.
Are you though?
I think so. Yeah. Like I think giving people compliments is good. I think you should always give people compliments.
But like, what about false compliments or like backhanded compliments? Like you think that you're giving a compliment, or like if the intention is like you're saying something nice, but really you can't stand that person.
Well, I think they should come in. Too. I think it should come
with a disclaimer.
Good faith.
Okay.
Like you shouldn't give a compliment or do. I mean it. Even a false compliment, you can argue that's still better. It's still better because the person sees it and thinks it's good.
Like, all right, but in real life, do you get backhanded compliments? And like when you think about it, when after the person's delivered it, you're like, wait, did this person just diss me?
I got backhanded compliments.
Like
Sometimes, excuse me, I feel like people don't mean it.
No,
they just phrase the compliment weird.
Oh, okay.
They'll just phrase it weirdly. You know, but I don't think they always like mean it. But sometimes they're trying to shade or whatever. But look, I'm not saying give like compliments you don't agree with. Yeah, right. Okay. Like I'm not saying you gotta just be false. You can't be making false complimenting people falsely. That's how we have like underground rappers like that stay in it for too long because too many people compliment them. But I'm saying if you genuinely enjoy something, like leaving a nice comment or telling the artist that you appreciate their work, that's good.
Yeah,
that's better for society. Like you can make a fair argument that that's helping, that you're putting out positive energy, which is great for society.
I think I have a perspective on why trolls like might be like who they are though.
Please.
I think it's because maybe they started out being positive and complimenting someone, right? And then I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's times where if you compliment someone, they'll be like, "Oh, you're on that person's dick," or like, "Why?" It's just like, hold on. So like maybe that troll is just like, "Well, I'm not on his dick," and to prove that, then I'm gonna be negative.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people who troll, I think they definitely have.
They're hurt.
like there's definitely something with them. I don't think is something with me because I honestly don't expect, especially like if I put up a comedy clip, I don't expect everyone to find me funny. Like, why would everyone find me funny? Like, I'm not funny for everyone. Like, I'm funny for like some people who really enjoy it and I'm cool with them, but I can make a living with those people. I don't need like 99% of the world. I don't even need 1% of the world.
That's a lot of people
to think 1% is a ton, right? Well, so if you don't like it, it's cool. Like, I'm not like hurt that you don't like it. I'm just not for you, right? There's other comedians, there's other artists that are for you. But your need to tell me that you don't like it and I need to know that it's not
and you need
to your liking.
You need to hear this.
Right. That's a problem with you. That's not a problem with me because I can accept that you don't like it, but you can't accept that I don't care if you like it or not.
I think what it is too, man, I think like social media is giving a lot of voices to people who otherwise would have been like overlooked. And then like that fact that they get like some kind of traction because of the hate, then like it builds that ego, that boost. I think that's where it comes from. Because if you really, like you were saying, if you really taking the time to like invest in doing some kind of work, or it doesn't even have to be anything creative. It's just like work period. Like, you know what? I'm going to be the best bookshelf maker on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like that takes time and effort, but like a lot of people, they don't really want to do that. So they're rather just like, oh, I could get famous, or I could get popping from being disrespectful and saying hey and things. It's just like, oh, you're whack, bro. Like
I always had this theory. I just think that like back in the day before the internet took off, before social media took off, being an artist was just like, and I keep saying the term artist. I'm talking about real artists, not like me who does dick jokes on stage for an hour. I'm talking about like real creators and people who make art. That like back then you wouldn't, like, when you created something, you wouldn't know. Like it would take so long for you to find out what feedback. It was. Because now, like you released a movie, an album, anything, within seconds you're getting tweets that it sucks.
Trash. Yeah.
Back then,
instant. It's live.
If you was like, think about if you was like Eddie Murphy, whatever, and you made a film back then. No, like you had to wait. Like what did the critics say? Right, you had to read Ebert and Roper or whatever their name is, and
it would take like what, like almost a year because it had to come out and they had to write it and edit. Yeah,
right. It would take so long, whether it was a special, an album, any type of thing that you put out. It would take a while for the streets to hear it, and even at its peak. I would assume, I guess I wasn't there. I would have to ask a celebrity who was there. Even at its peak, even if you released the worst stuff, I assume people weren't running up to you in the street telling you it sucked.
No.
Because no one still to this day do that. Like no one, you could come to my show and hate it. No one coming up to me and saying that it sucks.
But that'd be the funny thing too, where like somebody will actually try it thinking that real life is the internet and they get punched in the face and they're like bewildered, like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because people, like, I feel like they have that sense. It's like, oh, so you have a little sense because you know not to go up to somebody and say it to their face, but behind the keyboard with a page that has no photo or no nothing, you want to talk. And look, listen, if you're going through something in life, send me a DM. I'll talk to you. I'll help you out.
You should start a separate page for that, like Ian Lara Consulting, right?
What would you say?
To trolls?
Yeah, like if someone.
What would you?
I would just be like,
what's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Like, what's going on with you? Like, how are things? How's life? How's your family? Like, how's your job? Because obviously something's wrong.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. I really like this concept. I'm gonna find you trolls.
Can we?
Dead serious. I'm gonna find you trolls.
We gotta produce this.
Find me trolls. Maybe I might make a troll counseling page.
That's great content.
A troll counseling page on Instagram where I search trolls on people's comments and then I DM them like I'll give you a free 45 minutes. Let's talk. Let's talk this out.
Wow.
Yeah. And because I guarantee you 95% of them. Some people have no hope though. Those people, those are the people that they'll become serial killers. They'll murder the entire family. They have no hope. But 95% of the people would be like, thank you, man. Nobody's ever asked me. Nobody's ever cared.
Nobody's wanted to talk to me.
That's why I want to give off all this hate because I never got any love or affection.
You know what?
My mom never hugged me or made milk.
But it's
I know
true.
what moms do.
It's funny, but it's true.
That's not a thing. Moms make milk, right?
And cookies.
All right. Yeah.
No, they don't. I can't unpack either one of those.
Do we still have GSCs here?
What is that?
Girl Scout cookies.
We do. I
All right.
found the box.
Oh, did you?
I did.
All right. Yeah, they
That's
hit
what
the
she
box.
said.
Up top.
Thank you. Is it cool to write what you think on social media?
What do you mean? Well,
Look,
expound
I think
this one.
some people make a living giving their opinion. Like, you know, like Joe Budden's academics, they give their opinion. So a lot of times these artists get mad at that they giving their opinion. Stephen A. Smith, but that's their job. They're like, if you're making money or is your career to give your opinion, I think okay.
But I think you open up with the perfect logic on, like, it also depends on where you're at too and what you're doing. So like it's their job, right? But it's also, if you've never done this, if you've never been in the same arena, then it's just like, I know where to hold your opinion. Like you said, your opinion has like very little value to me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But when it's your job, you give them the benefit of the doubt that their opinion comes from an area of expertise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, a lot of them, like, yeah, they never played the sport or they might have never made a music album, but they know the art form or the business, so they're giving the expert advice. And sometimes it's not going to be on board with what you like, and that's fine. Like, those people, if you're making a living out of it, I could argue with, okay, it's your job to troll. You figured out a way to make trolling financially lucrative for yourself, and I could get on board with that. Not on board. I still think it's like a piece of shit job, but I can understand that. You know, that's like you ever meet like someone or a homegirl or I've never met anyone in my life,
and they open up with like, yeah, I'm very opinionated. I'm out, number one, or I'm number two. It's just like, well, based on what? What are your opinions based on? And then they're usually just like,
I don't like, I just want to go back to a world where we were living more in person.
That's gone.
Like, if you tell me, if I meet you somewhere and you tell me you're very opinionated, like, okay, all right, whatever, say your opinions. And I feel like I'm more susceptible to listen to them in person than I am online. Yeah. Because online, I just completely discredit you as like a hater. But sometimes you give your opinion, you speak to somebody and you find like, all right, they have like valid opinions. And also, I think your opinions are meant to be shared amongst like your friends and your friends' friends. And those, there's like an intimate group of like people that care about your opinion. I'm not one of those people.
That's true. And I think that's why as you get older, your friend circle kind of gets smaller, because you start like hearing, like, you ever hear some of your friends' opinions and you're like, oh, this person is dumber than rocks. Like,
oh yeah,
I gotta stop. I can't kick it with you no more.
Oh man, you bring up a good point.
Like, how do you see the world? That was a real laugh. A laugh and a hiccup. Yeah, Marty. The
amount of people that think that they're smart is
bro. In 2024,
I don't think I'm smart. Like, I think that's the first sign of somebody who has some type of intelligence. The fact that they'll admit that they're not smart. I'm learning stuff. I have opinions. Sometimes they change. I learn information, and it's fluid.
This is totally random, but this is the Adulthood pod. But like, circling back to like our group chat text conversation. In one of my group chats right now, one of my friends said a prayer for another friend because he has a big opportunity. So it's just like the fact that people take something so small and run with it is like, just shows you how limited their scope or perspective is on the world. But on the flip side of that, like, I have friends where it's just like, I'm not talking to you in 2024. Like, our friendship like ended in 2023, and not in a bad way, but like their views on life or their perspectives and what they post online. And like you were saying, like, oh, is it cool to write what you think on social media? Maybe you shouldn't. A lot of people shouldn't.
I mean, everyone is just like an expert. Like, everyone, I mean, even going back to like during the pandemic, you saw everyone who failed out of like basic science was like,
put your mask on.
Yeah, they knew like everything about
6
everything.
feet.
And then if you like, I didn't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Like, you see me, I'm an idiot. That doesn't need to be argued, right? You know?
At all.
Yeah. And like a doctor tells me something, I'll listen. I'm like, all right, you went to medical school, you're a doctor, a scientist, whatever. I listen. And then I'm an idiot if I listen to him. I should listen to you who lives in your mom's basement and is Googling on the dark web.
Ivermectin.
I should listen to you. Like, I have two people to listen to, right? I could listen to like doctors, because it's not just one. It's like a consensus of doctors. And sure, they have ulterior motives. They have all this thing. Again, I'm not debating that. I know they do. I know big pharma is in a lot of their decisions are based on higher influences than just themselves.
On the bottom line.
Right. Yeah. But if my choices are them and you, who failed out of basic earth science. Cause you didn't know, cause when it was time to dissect the pig, you was playing with the pig's genitals and you didn't cut. I'm gonna listen to you.
And then you said it was bacon. But
yeah. Like, come on.
You know?
Come on.
No. But you bring up a very interesting point.
Of course.
And I think that, I don't know if this is also a function of like society now but like now, it just makes it hard to listen to anyone. Cause you said it, like you might have a doctor who's classically trained, went through all of the medical school and everything like that, but they are in the pocket of whoever's controlling the show. So now you're like, oh shit, like who do I listen to? Because what if Bacon Man over there actually like was kind of right? Or like, you know, did some research, like he figured his life out. And then like, Dr. Man is in the pocket of somebody. So like, how do you weigh it? How do you judge it?
People be like, do your research. And sometimes I'm like, what research? The internet, the way the internet works is you can find research to back up whatever you think. So what research? Like you go, do you like do your research and you bring up like, you bring up a accredited medical journal and they're like, nope, that's not real. And then they bring up their research that's like some guy that made it up in his house. And I'm like, Photoshop? That's credited?
Yeah.
Which one do you believe?
Yeah. It's honestly very difficult, especially when it comes to like big things too.
Right. I don't have the answers. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to like, we're all like trying to live through life and
houseway.
And yeah, we're trying to figure out like the right thing. I'm just saying when it comes to like deciding, there's a such thing as like making a educated decision and who you're going to listen to than not. And again, I don't just listen to like any doctor that says anything, but generally speaking, if I'm seeking medical advice,
I'm going to go to the person.
Am I wrong for saying that?
No.
Am I the asshole that I listen to a doctor when I'm seeking medical advice?
Yeah.
And not like the trainer at the gym who just got his training license and been taking steroids for 5 years.
Telling you how to
thinks the vaccine is no good.
It's fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it'll make you nuts small, bro.
What was that?
Oh.
You okay?
Yeah.
You getting a little aggressive over there.
Are you one of those guys?
Are you on?
Is Johan one of those guys on
Are
the
you taking
internet?
TRT?
Steroids in the gym.
I saw this clip that went viral the other day. It was with Dame Dash, and he was talking about he was talking to some you know those people you meet that are like herbal medicine people, like they're like they don't believe in like modern medicine, they believe in herbal medicine or whatever. And Dame Dash was saying that he's a type 1 diabetic, right? He's like, he's been going to his doctor for 20 years for type 1 diabetes, and his doctor has him on this medicine, whatever. And the herbalist guy was like from the Dr. Sebi world, which again I haven't went down that thing, so I don't know too much about it. But he was saying that he had remedy that he was like, you don't need to take insulin, you don't need to take whatever. There's remedies that could like fix it. And again, I don't know if there is or isn't, but I felt like Dame made a great point because Dame Dash was saying, he was like, if this were true, let's say it was true, right? He was like, you have people that you claim to have cured of type 1 diabetes, right?
Where they at?
He was like, wouldn't one of them go to a doctor and be like, hey, I'm cured now? And the doctor be like, wait, let's run some tests and see. So you can have concrete evidence of like, look, I used to be type 1 diabetic and now I'm not. Not only that, but if there was a doctor that thought that you could be cured, forget about who's in his pocket. Wouldn't he be like, what did you use?
Yeah.
And once you told them, start selling that to make money? Like, wouldn't he just cut out big pharma? And like, because the kickbacks that big insulin is giving him wouldn't compare to if he had the money to cure the thing straight up. He could charge 10 times what big pharma is giving him a kickback if he had the actual cure for a disease, which I thought was a fair argument. And I don't know the answer, but the guy didn't have an answer for
that.
Yeah.
But the thing is too is, and you bring up another good point, is like these people, and I'm not talking about that instance in particular, but like, have you ever noticed the people with these strong opinions, they never like their opinions to be challenged?
No,
you can't offer like any type, like there's no discourse. There's no like, oh, okay. And like, even if you try to be civil with it, like, oh, okay, you present your point. Like, well, here's my point. No. Now you're either a hater or like you don't know what you're talking about. It's just like, hold on. Like,
and I was reading the comments for that clip that went viral with Dame Dash and the herbalist. And there was so many people in the comments that were like, Dame is so clueless, like open your eyes, like all this medical thing. And I'm like, open your eyes. He just posed a completely
question.
logical question. And,
Shout out
and
to
the guy
Dame
didn't
Dash.
give him an answer for it.
Literally.
Like he a completely rational and reasonable question. The guy didn't give him an answer, and now you're in the comments talking about all the stuff that you know. When he asked the specialist, he asked him and he didn't have a concrete answer for it.
And if he was clueless, then clue him in. That'd be the thing
Right.
too. Like people expect you to know everything about everything, especially like from a DJ's perspective. When people come up to me and ask me for them underground rappers, like, yo, you don't know about such and such. Yo, you got to play such and such. I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
I don't.
I ain't
Like
playing that.
if he only has 30 listens on SoundCloud,
I ain't playing your barber. I don't
Like-
care how good he cuts hair, how good he raps. I'm not playing your barber
Shout
at
out-
brunch.
Shout out to Santana Bands. Nah, you know,
I'm not
like,
playing them.
No, and they get so offended. And then
I'm offended.
another dude. So I was at Taj. Big shout out to Taj. I was at Taj, and one dude came up to me. And I love Mac. They made life very Apple. They made life very seamless. But the fact that now people can just airdrop their songs.
Don't airdrop me your song.
Oh my God.
I'm reporting you to the police.
Like, do you understand how much
That's
of
a
it?
terroristic threat.
It definitely is.
To send your unsolicited rap song to somebody at a club.
And then the thing is, it was always like chess. So once we switched to the computers, you couldn't bring your CD anymore. Like, yo, you gotta, I can't, I need a USB. Then people started coming to the club with USB sticks. I'm like, oh man. And now the airdrop, now I just have to say, no, I'm not playing that.
Don't send me your song.
Please.
Because back to like what we were saying, like people have these strong opinions, but they, like you said, they can't be questioned on it. Like,
No.
and one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask questions.
You have
Like
to.
I have questions. Like I literally don't believe like anything. Like
At
I
all.
always have questions.
At
And I
all.
just feel like if you ask, like going back to like the medical thing, if you ask a doctor always tends to have better answers than like the random page with no picture on Instagram.
But and the reason why the doctor has to have better answers is because he can get sued. The Instagram page can't get sued.
Right.
Like if he tells you some shit and you die,
Right.
that's it. His medical
Right.
malpractice insurance is over for him.
And people running
Or
around,
them, or her.
running around claiming they could cure, you know, all these diseases, cancer. Like they're snake
Erectile
oil salesmen.
dysfunction was it ED?
Yeah, like that works, but they're the other people. They're snake oil salesmen.
They are.
They're selling you holy water in a jar, saying it's gonna make you walk again.
Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining.
Right.
That's the phrase.
I think so.
Old people got the best phrases.
What was the phrase that I said earlier? Where do you get off?
Where do you
Yeah.
get off?
Where
Maybe
do you
we
get
should
off?
title this episode. Where
Where do you get off?
Okay.
Where do you get off? What do you feel? How do you feel? What were you saying? That was an hour?
55.
55.
Oh,
Round.
should
Yeah.
you how do you feel about like dating someone who like has opposing political opinions?
I have a very crash take on it.
Yeah.
Should we blank this out? If it's fire, bro. Like I don't
Like you're saying if the girl is like if everything else is good, it's fine.
Yeah, like
No,
whatever.
yeah. I had somebody ask me, I used to have a joke about this. I don't do the joke no more. I'll just say it. I had a girl ask me, could I hook up with somebody who like voted for Trump? And I was like, yeah.
Red and blue
I
make
could.
purple.
Yeah. I said, the joke was, if we're talking just about sex, I almost prefer it. I was like, because a girl that's willing to vote for like, is probably like good in bed. I think. Just.
I wouldn't think that at all.
Well, you're not a
or think about it. She's conflicted, right? You talk about making America great again, but you got your roster's like the Kardashians. Then it's just like, what?
listen. I don't think he
Explain it.
the joke. Well, I'll explain the joke. I mean, obviously, it's a joke. I'm being
Facetious.
I'm implementing hyperbole, but the joke is at the
That
time.
should be the title.
At the time when Trump when I had the joke, when I had the joke, it was like during like the elections. I feel like it was like right before he got elected, and at the time he was literally being accused of like all these things from like all these women, grab him by the, you know, all that stuff was coming out, and I was like, any woman that's willing to see that and still vote for them probably is probably good in the bedroom. That was like the joke of the thing, because it's like, it's like the whole premise is like a girl who's like, they say a girl whose dad wasn't there is probably like a freak in the bedroom. So it's like anyone that's willing to vote for their like, what do you call it? Their abuser is probably good in bed.
It's
that
the
was
daddy issues.
Yeah,
thing.
that was the joke.
All
That was
right.
the premise of
Yeah.
the
Thank you
joke.
for explaining it.
Yeah, I don't care. I honestly, I also don't care like who you vote for. Like as long as like
You're a good person.
yeah, and your intentions are like based off like good thing, like not something that's racist or sexist. You know,
Yeah.
if you like, you literally could tell me I'm voting for this person because
I think
I want money and he's gonna help me get more money. I'm like, okay, I get that.
Yeah, or like if you say like I think that they're good for the country, like for all, like not just one particular person, but like the whole country. That's like
Well, yeah. So sometimes that argument, I'm like, I don't like that argument because I feel like it's like a lie. You're trying to play like the noble card of like, oh, you're trying to help the country. They're all trying to help the country. You don't think that? Tell me he's good for you. That's why he has your vote. You're part of this tax bracket, and he's gonna give you tax breaks.
And
so you're voting for
credits.
him. Yeah, perfect. I understand. You have as an American, you have that's your prerogative. But sometimes we like unravel, and then it's coming. This is an election year.
Oh
it's gonna get ugly.
Oh, we're gonna get some great content. We might blow up.
It's gonna get ugly. We talking about opinions on the internet. It's gonna get ugly.
It's gonna get crazy. What I was gonna say is that red and blue make purple, and that's only a couple of shades away from pink. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Leave it like that.
Let's leave it like that.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to political talk or religious talk, like both sides just believe that like the other side is wrong, and you should operate from a side of like both sides are just trying to do what they think is better for them and their family.
That's it.
And that is like a human thing that everyone should be able to respect. Like, sure, you want to do what's better for like society, what you think is better for society, but first comes what's better for you and your family. And if you think more tax breaks or whatever thing is better for you and your family, you're likely to overlook other things.
Yeah.
Which that's fine as a human. But people try to make it a thing of like, if you vote, you're a bad person. If you do, you're a good. It's not. It's nuanced. It's more nuanced than that.
Way more nuanced. But that's the thing too, where like I feel like nuances.
No,
it died in 2019.
Nuance doesn't exist anymore. It's black or white, baby.
Nuance and context.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
When people tell you like let's say on Instagram somebody post like a video, like I told you I had the meltdown the other day, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't go on Instagram live crying like, guys, like, I need your advice.
Honestly,
I'm melting down.
Honestly, you probably should have.
You know people that do that where they get
we would have both immediately DM'd.
Where they get into an argument with their spouse, and next thing you know, I'm having dinner and they're on live crying into a glass of wine
and they don't losing their shit. You fucking
no, I don't do that.
That's selfish. I think that's like the white party, bro.
When people tell you their problems, I think men. I think I heard this somewhere or read it or on TikTok something. When men listen to we're problem solvers.
That's it.
So if you tell me your problem is hard, sometimes like I've had this like because a girl will tell you their problem but won't want advice.
They don't. They just want to just talk. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Then I say okay, and they're like, "Is that all you're gonna say?" I'm like,
"You don't even care."
Yeah, I'm like, what are you supposed to say, Marty?
You're supposed to agree. Like here, I'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Give me a problem.
Okay. Like any problem?
Any problem. Just give me a problem.
All right. Like I don't know what I'm going to do about my career because I want to sell more tickets. I want to be more popular, and I don't know how to do that.
That's easy.
See,
Honestly,
thank you. Solve my problem.
The problem's not you.
What's the problem?
I know that you feel bad right now, but like you're doing amazing. You're perfect. You're great. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in this moment in time, and you know, like you can't control what's going on around you, but you right now, you're great.
See, I feel like you're being condescending.
No,
I feel like I feel like you're speaking to me like I'm your child.
No, but genuinely,
I know I'm not great. I know I suck. That's the problem. Women don't know that they suck. Men generally know that. They generally don't, actually. That's
the problem.
We're the most delusional creatures
on the planet.
Like, I think everyone's delusional, though.
You didn't want to, like, I feel like most people I know, if they're in that space, they want to be built up. Like, you
So is that what women want? They want to be built up?
You either want to be built up, agreed with, or... I
have a problem agreeing, because sometimes I think you're wrong.
That's like
I
But
think
like, I'm saying, like, you'll tell me like an issue's going on at work, and you'll be like, could you believe this girl came in? Could you believe Rachel came in and did this? And I'm like, Rachel, what she did was right. You're bugging out.
that's
What
not the
Rachel
time
did
for
was
that.
Absolutely not right.
Yeah,
but
that's not the time.
It's not the time to tell.
But my question is, and this is like on topic but off topic, I can't believe that you could be that selfish to not film your breakdown,
I
like your
can't believe it
meltdown.
either.
And like this is the second time you did some selfish shit.
Dude,
like
I was
you
gonna,
should have
I
went to
was
the white
spiraling.
party.
I was almost gonna
You
fire
should
the
have
pilot.
fucking
I was gonna go in the
spiraled,
cockpit
bro.
and tell the pilot he was relieved of his duties.
And honestly, like this is what men do.
I was blaming everyone except me.
You didn't take control of the situation. You know we live in the COE, content over everything. That would have been perfect content, and you could have blown up. So you didn't take.
Well,
charge.
I did think this was gonna be content for the pod.
Yes. Okay. In fairness. All right.
Yeah, so I was
I
like,
appreciate
I'll just
you.
tell the story at the pod.
You're but building you up isn't condescending. Like if you were to spiral here pre-show and you were like this, I probably would have said the same thing. Maybe not as like dramatically, but I would have just been like, "You're good." Like, because I would assume you.
But
would
I guess a career problem is not. I guess that's not that is a good way to handle it. But I guess that's not like the type of problem that requires a solution. Because some problems are like solution based, right? Like that's a confidence problem. So I guess the solution, in a way, you are providing a solution. You're building me up.
Yeah.
So I think a problem that has like a definite solution of like, all right, let's say that it's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to work. I don't want to keep taking the train. Like I keep getting kicked in the face on the train by the Showtime dancers. I don't know what to do.
Oh, then the girl response would be, "Oh, you shouldn't even be in this situation. It's honestly not even okay that you are in this situation. You're in this situation because insert someone else."
That's the girl's
put you in
response.
this
So basically, you
situation.
pivot
Yeah.
away
Pivot-
from the problem.
pivot away.
As a man would be like, well,
Why
let's
are you
just buy
taking
you a
the
car.
train? Yeah.
Because then it's
Get off the train.
Yeah, well, that too, but no, a girl wouldn't be like, "Let's buy a car." Like,
You know-
they would be like,
Because they have no money.
That's number one. You know what's very interesting though, but like we're onto something because my therapist would say that it's how you're receiving the message and like the message that's being delivered, and like sometimes those paths gets crossed. So you might need like a third party to be like, okay, what did you say and what did you hear? Because that happened.
I fired my therapist because I think I'm healed. Let's wrap.
Did you
this.
get a heal badge?
I think I'm cured.
Okay.
Thank y'all for tuning in, volume 42.
Thanks, guys.
We love you guys. Shout out to all
Love.
the adulterers. Thank you for listening to our nonsense. Remember, to keep your opinion to yourself unless
Please.
it's behind people's back
Of
or
course.
it's positive.
Or- and-
Then you put it out there.
And if you don't like us, tell us so we get that engagement up.
Yeah. Also, if you hate us, comment that you hate us on our page too,
Yes,
because we need that
we need
for
that.
the
Yeah.
algorithm.
Yeah.
If you want to see me live, I'm in. When this coming out? The 29th.
Yep.
I'm in New York this weekend. Come see me live at the Stand or Gotham Comedy Club.
Boom.
And in February, back on the road. I'm in Plano, Texas, the 15th to the 18th, and Hotlanta at the
Tejas.
Atlanta Comedy Theater, the 22nd to the 25th. Where are you gonna be at, PM?
I will be at. I'm actually going to be on vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the vacation. Shout out to the adulterers. And whenever you feel the need to want to say what you think, just remember a wise man once said, "Where do you get off?" Adulthood. Later.